Back by popular demand, I've been told to bring back my story times. I used to have a lot of story times on this channel, but they were pretty bad quality, so I just unlisted them. And I've been getting some complaints from the people that was like, "Man, you gotta bring those back." So I'm gonna start off by retelling one of my favorite story times, and this is when I almost got kicked out the gym. To set the stage for you, this is early on in my career. I recently just got a job working at the gym. My mom's coach was kind of like the overseer of the gym, so she was in charge of the jobs for everybody to do. She gave me a nice and simple task. She told me to just clean up the refrigerator that was in the kitchen of the gym. Now, before I go any further in the story, I want to pre-frame it by letting you know I was 21 and I think he was 19. So don't judge us for what you're about to hear. When I opened up the refrigerator, I found a bottle of milk. Now, at this point, the milk has been like 2 months expired. So I go, "Hey, man, Malachi, look, this expired milk in here. Let's throw it out." Malachi goes, "Man, do you think if we leave this bottle in here, do you think it'll turn into cheese?" Very, very dumb idea, I know. So I look at him and I go, "That's a great idea." So I decided I was gonna, instead of throwing away the milk, I was gonna hide it behind the fridge in front of everything else. My hiding spot wasn't the greatest. So after a couple of days, my coach's mom walked into the kitchen, opened up the refrigerator, and she found the milk. You know, she calls me up. She was like, "Man, Sadiq, there's a expired bottle of milk in there. I thought I told you to clean the kitchen." So I was like, I guess I just missed it. Now, on my way to go do this job, I ran into Malachi again. I told him, "Hey, the jig is up. Found out about the expired bottle of milk. I'm about to go throw it away." So he goes and he tells me, "Man, it's been 2 months and a couple of weeks already, man. You just gonna give up on it? We gotta see what happens." So I go, "You know what? Yeah, you're right, man. I'm not a quitter." He suggests, instead of keeping the milk in the fridge, why don't we hide it in the cabinet that's right on top of the fridge? That way, next time she checks on the fridge, there's no more milk. I won't get in trouble. It look like I thrown it out, and we could continue our experiment to see if it turns into cheese. That's exactly what I did. But the thing is, the spot where I put it was such a good hiding spot. Even I forgot about it. A couple of days go by. Me and my teammates went to a local grappling tournament. We came back on a Sunday night, and I remember the gym was empty. It was probably like 10 to 11 at night. I went up to the gym to go grab myself before heading home, and I was like, "Man, somebody blew up the bathroom," because our bathroom is right across from the elevator. So as soon as you get upstairs, you walk to the bathroom first, and like, "Man, somebody really blew up this bathroom. This stinks so bad." Grab my stuff, peaced out. See you on Monday. So the next day comes. I'm usually the first person at the gym. I get upstairs, open up the elevator, and the first person I run into is a janitor. Now, keep in mind, the kitchen doesn't really belong to us. It belongs to the whole entire building. So the janitor is in there cleaning up, and he turns to me and says, "Whoa, Sadiq, I don't know what happened. It smells really bad. I keep cleaning the floor, but I can't get rid of the smell." So no matter how much he kept mopping, he was like, "Man, it still stinks." And I was like, "Yeah, that's weird. I wonder why it smells like that. Maybe something's broken." He leaves the kitchen to go into the restroom to go refill up his bucket. And as soon as he leaves, I shit you not, it hit me. I was like, "Oh my God, the milk." I open up the shelf on top of the refrigerator. And keep in mind, this is a wooden shelf. And I kid you not, the bottle of milk changed from a regular gallon shape into a ball. It was literally a circle. And on the bottom of the ball was an explosion where the plastic has just blown out and all the milk from inside the bottle seeped into the wood and found its way down on top of the refrigerator. As soon as I realized what was going on, I grabbed the bottle, ran outside to the dumpster to get rid of the evidence, and came back and just quickly wiped the top of the refrigerator. Couple hours go by. Now the janitor is gone, so it's just me at the gym now waiting for all the regular athletes to show up. I start struggling trying to get rid of all the little funky parts that was still left inside of the cabinet. It was like all the green mold. It was a completely different color. It wasn't cheese, but it wasn't milk either. I scraped off as much as I could, got rid of all the wet evidence, but the smell was way too strong. You could smell that scent from when you open up the elevator all the way to the backside of our gym. Like, you could smell it from the first floor all the way to the second. I've never smelled a skunk before, but if I had to guess, that's exactly what it smells like. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of the smell. Now, while scrambling and panicking trying to get rid of the smell, I hear the elevator make a noise, meaning somebody's coming up the steps. or walk around the corner is my teammate Al. So he sees me still cleaning up, trying to get rid of the smell. He's like, man, it smells so bad in here. What's that smell? I look at him and I say, I left some milk on top of the shelf. He goes, man, why would you do that? Like, why didn't you put it in the refrigerator? I told him I was trying to see if it would turn into cheese. Man, he just started busting out laughing. I forgot to tell him that Malachi is the real one who started this idea. I just went along with it, but he was having the time of his life. He was like, you was trying to see if it would turn into cheese? Hey, don't judge me. It sounded like a perfectly great idea when Malachi brought it up. But I took the blame anyways, and I begged him. I was like, man, I'm gonna get rid of the smell before anybody else shows up. Please, man, just keep it between us. And he was like, I got you, man. I'm not gonna tell anybody. He actually went back downstairs and got a couple of like Febreze and like air fresheners for me to help me like spray around. When I'm telling you, those air fresheners did nothing. All it smelled like in there was air freshener mixed with milk experiment. You know, it didn't do anything except make the smell worse. It was now even more distinctive on how bad it smelled. Now more time passed and more people are starting to show up now. The boxing coach showed up. A bunch of boxers are showing up with them. Everybody's like, man, what's that smell? I'm still in the kitchen cleaning up because we're definitely not training today. We got to get rid of this smell before the real important people show up. So I got my headphones in, acting like I'm listening to music. There was nothing playing in that music. I was just scrambling, trying to do something to fix the damn smell. I used anything I could find, water, bleach, whatever it was. Then I stepped outside the kitchen and took a peek at the front desk. And what do I see? My boy Al laughing, pointing back at the kitchen, and everybody surrounding him. I can't tell what he's saying, but I could piece it together that he's telling them about my experiment gone wrong. So now I see everybody turn simultaneously at the same time to look at me while I'm peeking out the window. They start walking towards the kitchen. Everybody's angry as hell. I just started working there. So like, I can't believe you do that, man. If this was my business, I would fire you today. Why would y'all do that? Why y'all turn into cheese? Turn into cheese? I just knew I was getting fired that day and I was most likely going to get kicked off the team. And even though they was going hard on me, they did promise that they weren't going to tell anybody. And I was able to trust them a little bit more than I was able to trust Al. They left to go train and I got back to cleaning, and a couple more minutes go by and now I hear the elevator one more time. I checked the clock and I knew it already. My coach's mom comes to the gym at the same time every day. So I already knew it was her. Now, the distance from the kitchen to the elevator is about like 5 seconds. When I'm telling you, I teleported to the front of that elevator and I just stopped her right there as soon as the door opened. I was like, Miss Rose, I'm very sorry. I left some trash in the kitchen yesterday and I forgot to throw it out and it smells really bad. I don't condone lying, but I didn't want to get fired. And I also wanted to be in the UFC one day in the future. So I couldn't afford to get kicked off the team. Now, coincidentally, this same week, she said she had something going on with her sinuses. So she couldn't really smell that well. And luckily for me, she kind of liked me already. I feel like if it was somebody else on the team, she probably would have like chewed them out and kicked them off the team right away. But she gave me some grace. She was like, oh, thank you for telling me. Just take care of it. And I made sure I did just that. Make sure she saw me trying to take care of it every single day. Every time she walked by that kitchen, I'm in there scrubbing. But nothing really got rid of that smell. That scent stayed around for almost 2 weeks. At this same time, I think it was like Worlds for Jiu-Jitsu or Nogi Worlds. So all the Jiu-Jitsu guys was gone. Our head coach was gone. But his wife will always come into the gym and call him and tell him about how bad it smells on the gym. He's hearing this on the phone. So he probably thinks like, oh, okay, it just smells bad like bathroom. He doesn't realize how bad it really smelled at that gym at the time. It got to the point where we had to shut off the whole kitchen area. All the after school kids and the kids program couldn't eat in the kitchen. Everybody had to eat on the mats. And we will always shut the door as soon as the day started. Shout out to Mike Easton because he's the only person that was able to offer a solution. He got some type of spray that's supposed to cover up the smell when people are smoking weed. And that actually did the job. I grabbed all the bottles. I just poured it on top of the cabinet so it could seep into the wood, the same place where the milk was. And with given time, that smell started to overpower the actually stinky smell of the milk. When I'm telling you this was the longest 2 weeks of my life, I'm not exaggerating. And when it was all over, I sat back and I realized the whole experiment was Malachi's idea. I was just stupid enough to go along with it. He got zero blame. He would just walk past me every day, smiling, happy as can be. But I guess it was my fault. Being 21, I shouldn't have been taking advice from a 19-year-old. And I think both of us should have been smart enough to realize milk doesn't turn into cheese by just leaving it there to expire.